Jan students, uh, welcome to English class once again. And today we will study the remaining part of the poem A Thing of Beauty by John Keats. And for this, first of all, I am going to share the PDF of the poem. Let us see that first. Here it is. The poem is on your screen. And not only remaining part of the poem, definitely we will study that, and after that we will also revise actually the main points of the poem. Apart from that, we will discuss all the textual questions and some important extract also I will tell you, so that you can practice, you can prepare yourself for the board examinations in a better way. So first of all, let us start the remaining part of the poem and its explanation. Till here that we have already studied that for themselves a cooling covered make, and a clear reels that for themselves a cooling covered make against the hot season, means there are so many things of beauty which are present on the earth, and which are the beautiful gift, which are the bounty of the nature for all human beings. And so one of them is the small reels which has the transparent water, crystal clear water, and they also that for themselves a cooling cover, they also make a cooling cupboard, create a cooling shelter for itself to make it cool, especially in the hot season, means due to the shrubs which has been grown due to the moisture of the water. They protect the amount of water which lies under those shrubs, and later on if a person that who is any passes by who are thirsty, especially in summer season, they can drink that crystal clear water, and at that time nothing can be more beautiful for them than that amount of cool water in summer season. The mid forest break, and now another beautiful examples that poet has created a beautiful imagery in order to tell the beauty of the nature, that in the mid forest break, generally that passing through the forest is a very difficult task, it's a very monotonous job, and at that time when this poem was written, in that context the poet has mentioned that when people walk through the mid forest, at that time it looks quite monotonous for them to pass through the forest, but when they look towards the the shrubs, the ferns which are grown in the mid of the forest, they are rich with the sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms, and when they look towards the musk roses which are bloomed and scattered here on and there on the in those breaks, they look very beautiful, and they provides a joy, they provides happiness, and they soothes the eyes and soul of the passers-by. And such too is the grandeur of the dooms. And now further the poet says that such too is the grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead. Remember students, mighty dead. Mighty dead are our ancestors. The poet has mentioned about about our forefathers. They are mighty because their soul, their brain, their deeds, their achievements were very powerful. And so the poet says that, and such too is the grandeur of the grandeur, means that is the glory, that the achievement of the domes we have imagined for the mighty deeds. Mighty, our forefathers, those uh, we can say there are so many people who are great persons. Their achievements are great, like mm, writers, poet, philosophers, scientists, and there are so many people, brave people, that who have done such a good thing, which are the constant source of inspiration for generations to come. And due to their achievements, it is imagined that at the time of their uh, death, even after that death, at the doomsday, they will be uh, rewarded sufficiently because of their achievements. And they are also equally, their achievements are equally beautiful as the gifts of nature, at the beauty of nature, because they are also the constant source of pleasure, joy, and inspiration for all of us. And now, in next line, poet says that all lovely tales that we have heard are read, because there are so many writers that who had written, uh, and the poets, they have written so many tales, that which are full of moral values, full of ethics, and they keep on inspiring the present generation, and also they will keep on inspiring to the generations to come. So due to their achievements, since they are dead, but their achievements are very powerful, and that's why they will keep on, their achievements will keep a source of great inspiration for all of us. So whatever we have heard, all the lovely tales that we have heard are read, they are great things. But even though the poet says that things of beauty which is present on in nature, they are even more lovely, more beautiful than the tales we have heard or read. And now last two lines are very important, students. This because in board examinations the questions from these two lines have already been asked, and still they are always important, because a beautiful imagery in a metaphorical way that poet has used here to tell that an endless fountain of immortal drink. He had compared endless fountain of immortal drink are supposed to be present in the um, heaven, and pouring onto us from the heaven's brink. But those immortal drink means nectar is not present here on the earth. But poet says that the things of beauty, beautiful things which are present in our nature, which are present on the earth, sun, moon, muskrose, daffodils, clear rails, means whatever the bounty which nature has given us, provided us, and which are present on the earth, they are like the immortal drink, and which seems to be poured directly from the heaven for us, to make us happy, to make us joyful, to make us pleasant, and pouring unto us from the heavens brink. It seems that they are directly, when we come into the contact of the beauty of the nature, the things of beauty which are present here on the in the nature, on the earth, they are equally beautiful as the immortal drink. And it seems that when we come into the context of it, it seems that those immortal drink of the heaven directly comes out to satisfy our soul and mind here on the earth. So that's why these two lines are very important, as the poet has created a beautiful imagery that endless and endless fountain of immortal drink, which are the beauty, which are the things of beauty which are present on our earth. Now students, also that I just want to tell you that these lines are very important, and such too is the grandeur of the dooms. From here, these last five lines are very important, as they have these lines have already been asked in your board examination as an extract, and these are very important, these last five lines from here onwards. And these lines are very important, so you must have to understand this. And that questions can also be asked that explain the grandeur of the dooms. When such kind of questions will be asked to you, that you can also answer in your own words, as the grandeur of the dooms are actually here refers to those glories and magnificence that the dead are entitled to on the doomsday after their death. And that another questions from this paragraph which are important, that can also be asked, that what does the poet mean by the mighty dead? Because this mighty dead, oxymoron, when we talk about the figure of speech, it is oxymoron. And mighty, who are these mighty dead? Actually the poet refers to our powerful and great ancestors, powerful and great forefathers, because they have done, their deeds are great, and they are the constant source of inspiration for generations to come. In that sense, they are the mighty dead. They are dead, they are no more with us, but their achievements are remain the constant source of inspiration for all of us. And that one more question can be asked from it, that is, what is the source of the endless fountain of immortal drink? As I told, that this is very important, these two lines are very important. So for that you can explain that nature and its endless beauties, bounties are the source of the endless fountain of immortal drink which are present here on the earth. They have been compared with the immortal drink in the heaven. So these five lines are important for extract from this poem. This poem itself is very important for board examinations point of view. Now students, before moving towards the question answer section, so let us see the poem, revise the poem in nutshell, because that will be a revision of the poem for you. And here the poet starts this poem with the with first line, which conveys its theme, its message itself, that a thing of beauty is a joy forever. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. The poet says that the thing of beauty which is present here on the earth, they are the constant source of beauty and constant source of joy and happiness for us. Its value never decreases. A thing of beauty is a shelter for us. It gives us sound sleep full of sweet dreams, and our sadness, evil nature, and unhealthy ways make our living quite unpleasant due to the some negative actions by the people who are filled with maliciousness, selfishness, and jealousy, and because of them that who lack the noble nature, that people are struggling, people are suffering with pain, disappointments, and sadness. And but later on the poet says that our sadness, evil nature, and unhealthy ways make our living quite unpleasant, but at that time a thing of beauty removes the pall of sadness from our spirits, and rescue us from the sadness and gloomy days. And now further the poet has also given some of the examples of the things of beauty which are present uh, here on the earth, in the nature, that like trees which provide a shady boon for simple sheep, uh, with its branches and leaves, which is a cause of happiness for those sheep which are suffering in hot season. And there are some other examples of the things of beauty which poet has mentioned in the poem. They are the clear small streams, and which provide a cooling shady covered of thickest against the hot season. And now poet has also mentioned that some other things of beauty like daffodils which bloom among the green surroundings, daffodils, that light yellow color flower, and which bloom among the green surroundings. And when we look at it, it uh, gives soothing, it provides a soothing effect to the onlookers. And beautiful musk roses bloom around mid forest thickest. They are also the constant source of happiness and joy in the monotonous days. And further the poet also mentions some other important points here, that the beauty provided by these beautiful objects of nature is lovelier than all the stories that we have heard or read. There are so many great people, our ancestors, our fathers. They have also done some wonders, and due to there are so many achievements which they have achieved due to their good deeds, uh, that people are taking inspiration from their work, from their achievements. But finally the poet says that even we have heard so many stories, so many tales which either we have read or we have heard, but the beauty which are present on the earth in the nature, they are even more beautiful than the stories and which we have read or heard. And then finally in last uh, two lines the poet says that nature provides us an immortal drink that pours into our hearts right from heaven. And uh, this immortal drink are present here on the earth in the nature in the form of things of beauty, which are the constant source of joy and happiness for us. And now let us see the questions, the textual questions we can see. But before attempting the answers, writing the answers of these questions, students, you have to write. There are so many hard words. If you don't know the meaning of those words, so 10 words, maximum 10 words, 10 hard words along with their meanings, you can write on the first page of this chapter. And that is important. You don't have to write only, rather you learn that. In this way you can enhance your vocabulary. And now students, let's move towards the question answer section. Let us discuss these textual questions. And there are so many questions which have already asked in your board examinations as short answer type questions, which you will have to write in 30 to 40 words. There is no long answer type questions from the poetry section which are being asked in your board examination, so you don't have to bother for writing long answer type, long answer to give long answer. Rather you have to write the answers in 30 to 40 words each only. Now see the think it out, that 7 questions are given there. That question number 1 we take right from the question number 1, that is list the things of beauty mentioned in the poem. 2 or 3 years back this same question was asked in your board examination. List the things of beauty mentioned in the poem. So what you have to do in that case, you have to mention that there are so many things of beauty which has been mentioned in the questions, and which are mentioned in the poem. Right from there, you don't have to give any examples from your side. Rather it is always better that if examples you are going to give in your answer, so that should be given from the text only. So many things are given that every little or big thing of nature is a thing of beauty and a source of constant joy and pleasure. Like the poet has given some examples of those, and you can underline in your poem the sun, the moon, trees, old and young, and daffodils, flowers are all things of beauty. So are small streams, clear water, moss of ferns, and you know that blooming musk rose. They are also the constant source of joy and pleasure. So you can mention in 30 to 40 words in your own words only. And now students, see the second question. List the things that cause suffering and pain. List the things that cause suffering and pains. Those examples we have also seen very clearly. It is mentioned in the poem. You need to underline those things, like that there are so many things that cause human sufferings and pain which are mentioned in the poem. Like the biggest source of suffering is our malice and disappointment, despondence. The lack of noble qualities in human being is another another a negative point. Because of that we feel sad, and our unhealthy and evil ways also give birth to so many troubles and sufferings, and these are the things which depress our spirits, our soul, and they are like the pall of sadness over our lives. So only these things you have to mention which creates negativity among us. Now question number 3, students, this is very important question for board's point of view. What does the line "therefore are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to earth" suggest to you? There is an unbreakable bond between human being and the earth, and it is due to the things of beauty which are present in our nature. And so the poet John Keats is very, since way I have it is already mentioned that he is a very sensuous poet. So he is firmly attached to the endless beauty of the earth. The link of man with the nature is actually that constant and stable and unbroken, and the things of beauty are like wreaths of beautiful flowers. They are attached with one another, and we seem to wreathe a flowery band that keeps us attached with the beauties of this earth. In that sense, that this line has been mentioned, so you can write that in your own words. And now students, let us see the question number 4. This is also important question. When I tell you these are the important questions, so definitely you mark it as an important, because those questions can also be asked in the in your board examinations, and you must know the answer. That answer of these questions must be written in your notebook, and you also have to understand this: what makes human beings love life in spite of troubles and sufferings. So we can answer in that way that there are so many things which brings troubles and sufferings, and which depress our spirits, depress our soul, but some shape of beauty brings that joy and happiness in spite of such unpleasant things, in spite of troubles and suffering. What makes human beings, and in simple things, a thing of beauty. Simple answer is a thing of beauty. You can mention a thing of beauty, because a thing of beauty removes the pall, the covering of sadness and sufferings from our lives, and it makes us love love and with each other, and it fills us with joy and happiness. Now see the question number 5. Why is grandeur associated with mighty deed? Mighty deed means those people, our ancestors, who had done wonders, who had earned glory due to their good deeds, which are the constant source of inspiration for generations to come. And the poet says the mighty deed were the forefathers, and who were actually very powerful and dominating at their times, and their achievements made them mighty and great, and that's why they are mentioned as mighty deed. And their works and achievements are so great that we wish that they should be rewarded at the time of the day of judgment, at the doomsday. Hence grandeur is associated with these mighty deeds. Now let us see the question number 6. Do we experience things of beauty only for short moments, or do they make a lasting impression on us? So definitely that it has the lasting impression on us, as the poet makes it quite clear in the very first line of the poem when he says that a thing of beauty is a joy forever. It is a constant source of joy, and uh, its beauty always increases. It is not devalued, it does not disappear. Its loveliness goes on increasing every moment, and its value remain constant, undiminished. It never passes into nothingness. It always removes the pall of sadness that cover our dark spirit. Right from the beginning, 2 3 lines, we can get the answer of these questions. And now, that question number 7: what image does the poet use to describe the beautiful bounty of the earth? Beautiful bounty means beautiful gift of the earth. I have already mentioned that last 2 lines are very important, so this question is also very important, and where the poet John Keats uses various images to describe the beautiful bounty of the earth. The bounty of the earth is like an endless fountain, especially in the end, which he has mentioned. And this endless fountain of immortal drink constantly pours from the heaven into our hearts and soul to satisfy us. And the beauty of daffodils, reels, musk roses has been described using very suggestive and sensuous, rich images, and these are equivalent to the immortal drink which is present in the heaven. So in this way, that answer you can write in your own way, so that you can understand and that could be understood properly. So all the important things we have covered, I think. So you will have to write all the answers in your notebook. Students, whenever school reopens, then definitely those answers will be checked. I hope that you have understood the poem well. So that's all for today, and thank you for joining me, and have a nice day.